let's get this podcast episode started with You Ask, We Answer.
Now, this is interesting. This question, you could argue it's almost two questions in one, and it was during a mentoring session that I hosted last week, Jonny. And here it is. I've heard that updating your website regularly helps with your ranking on search engine results. Is it true? My business information is the same. I don't really see how I could update it anymore.
Are you asking me this question, Pascal?
What say you, Jonny?
So I think that's fair. I think that if you went back many years, Google was looking for fresh content, was looking for dates of when you last updated the website, when you last updated a page. That still is part of the algorithm. However, gone are the days of just updating things for the sake of updating things. So it's only updating things if you've actually got something to say. Now, of course, if you've got an e-commerce website, then adding product, new product, fresh product is a brilliant way to be able to add content. But if you're a B2B business, then you're obviously not creating many services on a regular basis. You probably haven't got new about us pages or things like that. So it's a lot of it's around sort of case studies and news and thought pieces, insights, but again, not creating content for the sake of it. So it's trying to find a balance of how can we keep fresh content, but only when it's worth it and only when it's important. And it's that whole thing of quality over quantity is what I would think, Pascal.
Yeah, and of course, research is going to be part of it. But if I go back to, and I suppose I have an advantage on you because it was during the mentoring session that this question was asked and I've had a few days to think about it. But I have some sympathy with, the belief that the more regularly you update your website, the more it seems as though you have more traffic, particularly if you look on Search Console and Google Analytics. And I think for me, it's that split between causation and correlation that we see a lot happening in SEO. So for me is this idea of if you update your website, the likelihood is that you're going to have more ammunition for social media where the traffic may be coming from. The more you update your website, the more actually you may be invited as a guest speaker at a local networking club, which then leads to traffic when people become curious about it. Indeed, you could become a guest contributor. If you update your website regularly, you may find actually new ways in which you can explain what you do and how you do it and so on. So for me, it's more because you're updating your website, there is a reaction either from the audience or there's some new doors being open that increase your visibility. But that's not necessarily linked to the traffic that perhaps you're thinking, all of you, which is a traffic from a search engine result, because ultimately it still remains that what we call the off-page optimization is by and large, all the experts have done the data crunching, by and large plays the majority of the role in traffic generation. So this idea of being a guest blogger on different platforms is probably what you're thinking of. But when it comes to your website itself, I'm going to take everybody back to the way I split sometimes website content in terms of a structure. You have the promotional side and you have the social side. And the promotional side, I would agree with you. I think case studies, testimonials can be refreshed regularly. I would even challenge people to think about the Meet the Team and the About Us section. What's happened last time since you wrote it? Maybe you've won new contracts, perhaps you gain new qualifications and so on. And that would be quite important. And, review, as you and I've recommended a lot throughout the podcast, all your calls to actions, even the homepage navigation. There's the ways means you can do that. And once you've exhausted the promotional side, then you can move into the social side. And as you mentioned, industry news, there's always something happening, company updates on a monthly basis, but all the questions you can research nowadays with the likes of Google and many tools we've recommended, and of course AI, you can really understand, what it's like to be someone that is going to buy from you very, very soon and answer your questions. So it may be true that the business information itself is reasonably constant, but everything else around it can be supported and be updated frequently.
Yeah, and you're right to challenge on the About Us page, because we've talked about in previous episodes about reflecting on what's on that About Us page, what's on that team page. So yes, you can always find things to update, but always remember it's all about the quality as well, and how can you keep giving signals to the social networks and to the likes of Google about fresh content, but high quality fresh content would be the thing to focus on.